Hey guys, NODOMINO here. Thanks for joining me. Super excited to kick off my new Architect build series. We're going to start with Dragonstone located on the Ragnarok map. I'll cover the key points in order to get this build started, but I'll skip over the repetitive parts to keep the video as short as possible. In this episode I'll cover Phase 1, Part 1, Foundation Layout. So here's what the foundation layout looks like. I've done a version twice as big as this. I was able to finish it, however I couldn't decorate it because I pretty quickly hit the 6,390 part structure limit for PlayStation 4. The angle also wasn't quite right. I wanted it to line up with this little natural slope ramp here, which I didn't realize until after the build, hindsight. So that's why you see all the little floating satchels everywhere, because of all the torches. Anyways, yeah, placement on this is pretty crucial. I feel like after building it once, kind of, saw some things that I wish I'd seen earlier. I wanted it to, the back point to line up with that hill back there. So spend a little time getting this set right. This is pretty good. Not bad. I think though I want the angle a little bit more, a little bit more to the right. Yeah, I think more to the right. Let's get rid of this. Try this again. Yeah, I want the entrance to like face this as nice as possible. So, little luck. And then, yeah, in line with that hill back there. The height's also a factor. So, yeah. I think somewhere along in here will work. Yeah, I think that'll work. So the idea is that that would be the front right there. That would be the entrance front, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to the center triangle. That being the center triangle, and put a stone off of each side of it. Now we're not taking directly off of the sides of the triangle. We're actually going to go and go through the triangle. This is an important detail. It factors in later. It'll make our inside corners line up. So throw some walls here just so we can kind of see the stones. I do this for my own sake. So that's the idea. So we'll take off from there and pass through the triangle, from there, pass through the triangle, from there, and pass through the triangle. Like this. If you have to rewind the video and watch this a couple times to make this make sense for you, yeah. So then, yeah, these are our actual points to our castle. So yep, snapping there. You'll have to have a stone foundation, a square stone foundation on the outside first in order to snap through the triangle. And of course, no clip has to be on to do this. So things get a bit tricky to see here, but that's our center triangle to get the final square foundation snapped through it off of the flat edge. We're going to go up one wall height, establish foundations up here, get rid of that. Okay, so we get our foundation height established here. Get rid of all this extra bits. Try to save as many parts as possible. Get rid of all unnecessary parts as much as you can. This orientation is pretty crucial. So I'm going to mark the center triangle here. Try to explain it a little bit. So if you don't get this exactly right, then later when you're laying out the side walls, the inside corners weren't exactly right. So we're not leading off of our flat edge of our center triangle, leading off the point. And so as you can see, when I put a wall here, the distance is a little different. This is going to make our walls later line up exactly right. So this is pretty crucial. As you can see, this is it here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to speed things up. You'll see me destroying a lot of stuff trying to get floor heights just right. I'll go back quite often and try to get things exactly right. So I put the extra walls in to use as markers to count off, not counting the center triangle. You want to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Between 8 and 9 is going to be your kickoff point for the side walls. Actually, I want to use metal ceilings in this spot so you can see the metal foundations easier. Just wait for this debris to clear. Now, with the metal foundations, you're going to have 3 snap points. We want the center point. Just to kind of show you here, I'm going to hit all 3 snap points. And I would probably, when I'm doing this, probably hit all 3 snap points and then demolish the 2 outside ones so that I know that I have the center one. I mean, that's just my technique. Whatever technique you use, as long as you're on the center snap point, that's all that matters. If you're not, then it's going to offset your outside walls, and the inside corners on your outside walls won't line up. So again, this might seem a little unnecessary. I'm just going to snap all 3 in so you can see what I'm talking about for people who aren't familiar with this. Bear with me here. So yeah, there's all 3. Just want to make sure we're kicking off from the center foundation. So there. And it'd probably be easier to demolish the 2 outside foundations when doing this there. Put in our poles. And that's the general idea. So now if we just throw a ceiling on that, throw a couple walls down, what's going to happen is if we try to take off from the top of that lower wall and start, our floors aren't going to line up. I'd say like 90% of the time the floors don't line up. So yeah, as you can see, the height is higher than the original, which can be pretty frustrating. So what I've kind of figured out to help fix this, it doesn't always work out perfectly. Most of the time it works out. Technique that I use, I just stack up 4 walls on top of that first ceiling, and you can use like a high wall, a 4 wall. And actually, sorry, it's not 4 walls, it's 8 walls. So you put 2 four tall walls, or eight walls high basically. You come down 1 ceiling, and most of the time if you snap down that first pole, you need to make sure you have a nub sticking out and it's not flush with the top ceiling, or it doesn't work out. Come down, and you can get like different varying heights that you can pick from here. So if I do this, this is going to be a little low, I believe. And you'll have to play with this because there's going to be multiple snap points here. So yeah, get rid of that. So then just make sure you're on the lower snap point there, and then that should be pretty close. Looks pretty good. And my dog found somewhere to lay down finally. Alright, so we'll get rid of this, and then get rid of all of this. And again, you can use like 2 big walls here instead of 8 single walls. Alright, so now get the right height here. That should put us in line with our original floor system. And there we are. It's pretty good. Doesn't always work out that perfectly. Usually you can find a height that works. And if you know any different techniques, by all means use them here. I'm going to speed things up again. Move along to get this guy snapped to center. And then we're going to jump to the other side and do the same thing so I can show you how the inside corners line up. So that's what we should be looking like, or working towards at this point. Speed things up again, move to the other side. Again, making sure that we're on our center foundation. Get rid of these 2 outside ones. Make the center one a little easier to identify. Again, assuring that our floor heights are going to match. You'll have to play around here to get an exact floor height. Get rid of all the extra parts. Sun's starting to come up. Yes, I'm using ghost mode. It just makes things easier, I feel like. Alright, so those are our 2 inside walls. They should end and line up the same height and create like a near perfect union. As you can see, Looks good. Pretty seamless. I like it. Get rid of this because there will be a door there later. Alright, gonna speed things up again. You know, it's just repeating the previous moves all around. You know, you're building into uneven terrain, so you got to deal with that. Overall, this is a pretty involved build. I'm not going to show every tile placement. I will cover all the important details in the main design cues in order to achieve a build very similar, if not identical to this. So this is what you should look like at this point. Again, you know, take your time, make sure you get this exactly right. You want the foundation right or it's going to affect the rest of the build. It will matter. Going to speed things back up. Okay, so we've repeated the process all the way around. This is what we should be looking like at this point. Again, take great care in making sure you have your foundation laid out right. It will matter through the rest of the build. Be on the lookout for part 2 of this video. I'm currently building phase 6, so I have a lot of videos to edit and upload. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any suggestions or questions, comment below.